Okay, bear with me, guys. I forgot to turn one thing on over on my other screen here, so should be good to go. All right, welcome everybody. This is the Crypto Mastery class. Got a lot to unpack here, and just gotta move something up a hair. Good to go. Okay, cool, everyone. Welcome. See a lot of M3 members here. Mary, Leslie, Rick, Francisco, Dave Lee, and Dr. T, Doug. Ray, Terry. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it's surprising to me. We opened these classes up to our whole list on Tuesday, and even for free, people don't. There's an old saying: people, if you pay attention. And people sometimes say, "Why don't you just give these classes away for free?" Well, we do, but people don't show up, and that's why they aren't as successful. But anyway, welcome everybody, and we're going to cover things in more detail, of course, tomorrow, and in the M3 classes. I'm just going to say I don't know if I'll continue these in 2025. It seems sort of repetitive if the M3 members are the only people showing up in here. So, but we'll go through some news. I'll keep it kind of short, and I want to dive into a few things. One of which I just posted an image in M3, kind of some mixed signals here, and so I want to dive into that. And let's go ahead and dive in. Let's see, quick news, then we'll go into the charts here. Markets pulled back in and bouncing a bit, some conflicting signals there. We'll unpack that. So let's see. So here's some news articles Myrene sent over, and see crypto literacy levels at dangerously low levels. It's I'm surprised to see that things are usually in the bull market are really improving. And if you guys don't know this, there's a metric where the bull market is sort of is topping out, or at least in full swing, when on the App Store, Coinbase is the number one app. That's when everyone's trying to get in and sign up to learn how to do crypto and trade crypto. Well, recently it's been Phantom Coin, the Phantom Wallet, the number one app on the App Store, and that's because of the Solana meme coin craze that's going on right now. And yeah, so I am. Some of you know already. I talked to a couple, very nice couple, and they had booked a private consulting call with me, and we realized they're experts in meme coin trading. They just don't know how to get out. So we're going to team up and do something with that. I know most of you said you were interested, and I think that could be really exciting because some of these meme coins that they're identifying are going up, 10x, 50x more, and with our tools and indicators that we'll be talking about today, and of course our crypto mastery indicators and some of the things that I bring to the table, will be able to hopefully get out before these things implode, which is what normally happens with those. So we'll come back to that, and I do want to get through the news quickly and really focus in on the excuse me one sec. Okay, sorry about that. Focus in on the indicators and how we can really nail these markets and what's likely coming next. So I don't want to get too much into this. Crypto community's financial literacy rate, 25% lagging, et cetera, et cetera. That just means we're early, so that's good. I'm not going to get into that any further. Let me jump over to this. Actually, Bitcoin price dip fails to squeeze leverage. So I have been saying 92K would be the bounce, and that's exactly what we're getting. I posted this on Facebook, I think yesterday, 92K. And that's exactly where we bounce. There's no magic behind it. It is our order block detector, that midpoint. Did go a little bit lower, but see this level here, 92K, also prior resistance. So what I'm wanting to see here is, do we hold and bounce, right? I don't like this big bearish engulfing candle yesterday and the day before. All right. And what I'm always on the lookout for is our bear market signals, the weekly, if we get a bearish engulfing on the weekly, and our other signals. So fortunately, we don't have that. And the reason it's inconclusive and somewhat contradictory here is we've got our TSI turning down below 80. We have our signal line red, RSI showing bearish divergence. This here showed us how great is this trend tool, by the way, you guys. If you're not using the trend tool, the bag o' money as your take profit candle and wait for a new key bell in this bull market. I know we didn't use this or refer to it too much in the sideways chop of the bear because it's less effective. And just let me just start with this because I think many of you are not aware of how the trend indicator works. So when the midline on the trend is red, it means there's no trend. Doesn't mean we're short. It means there's no trend. When the midline goes green, then we are starting to see the early inclination of a new trend. And by the way, you guys, I almost forgot, we have the revised trading success checklist. So I'm going to pull that up. How many of you guys are excited about that? And newly revised. So that's going to help you with this. So, but in these bull markets, we'll see multiple key bell sequences. And of course, the key says that a new trend may be forming and wait for the bell. If you're using the Pro Tools, we have a vertical green line now, which tells when the bell is forming. The bell is our buy signal. So if I jump out of this, and even if we don't have this on our charts, right, I can hide this entirely. We have the vertical green line implying that there is a new bell buy signal. So we don't really have to watch that if it's too much for you. To see that bell, 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 bell. And we've coded it like that. So always trying to improve these, making them better and easier. So here, a bell kind of dipped down a bit and then resumed. Got a new key bell. Nice push up, profit taking candle here. Wait for a new key bell. Sometimes I'm staying in the trade, but if I'm ever uncertain, I'll take some profits on the bag o' money. So we had a perfect example here. A key bell buy, sideways, sideways, pushed up nicely. This first dollar sign is take partial profit. The bag of money is sort of, may take majority of profit. And look at that, then it did go down. So that was a perfect example of the trend indicator, and also aligning with our TSI going red, signal red, and we are, of course, had our RSI red. It's all about confluence, right? So let's see. Now, if you're in M3, I've already sent this to you, and I'm trying to get to my folders tab to get to the new version of this. And it's, of course, the damn window's too big and I can't get to it for some reason. These things are always some kind of challenge on these things, technology wise. All right, there it is, the folder. I'm going to pull this up, and I gave you guys the new version. The final, I'm having him tweak it just a little bit more, but bear with me. I'm going to open up that trade checklist for the brand new version. So let's pull that up and go through that because let's see, where did it go? I opened it, and yeah, it's opening up on this other screen here. So here's the new trade success checklist. And Irene, if you're listening, we're going to need to update this on the deliverable for when people go to the website to get it. Just waiting on a few more tweaks, but looks much nicer, right, you guys? And I've got, the usual, the ERI, TSI, the signal bell, and the bag of money, the trend of our RSI Pro. I'm going to go through this in more detail. Have added the ERI Pro money flow buy blocks, very important. The new Bollinger Band, also very important, and a couple other things like the order block detector right in here. We should probably label that, so I'll have them fix that as well. Buy limit orders, and that's what that signifies. So anyway, and then of course, as you check these off, gives you a trade success score. So if you're new here, we've created this cheat sheet for you guys and make it easier to make money in trading. So how many of you guys like that? All right, let's see. We'll get to some questions here. I just want to get through the news here first. And so let's dive in. So a couple things. So the big TLDR today is where do we go from here? Had this big pullback. Now, Pomp had a great article, by the way, and Mike Point posted it in M3. I reposted it. And we'll pull it up. But there's a great quote in there where he says, people are freaking out that Bitcoin has now dropped to the same price it was a week ago. Keep in mind, you guys, this is we just broke out of this level. So a retest of this level is normal. So everyone's is sort of losing their mind right now. I think this is a pretty bullish chart, other than our signals tell us a different story. If I were drawing a squiggly line, I would normally do something like this. Although I don't know why my squiggle is extra squiggly today. And looks like I've got Parkinson's disease. Hopefully not. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's all janky for some reason. Point being, I would normally draw that as a retest and then resuming the trend. However, one of the reasons that we love these indicators so much, and by the way, if you're watching this or watching the replay and you want to find out more about these proprietary indicators that we have, you can always go over to moonstream.io. And I'm just skimming through here. I see a couple new names. So, you guys, not to make this into a commercial, I want to give you the tools that you need to succeed in this market. So, if you go to moonstream.io and click on this button for crypto mastery, this class is really to unpack the news and look at charts and really kind of teach how to use the signals. And so, you can go here. The direct link is cryptomastery.org/pro. Most of you guys have these, and we have a distinct advantage. So there's a 30-minute overview, and you get these 10 indicators. The lifetime offer, by the way, is going away or going up, one or both, January 1st. So now's the time to get in on those before we raise that. I know we've been saying that for a while, but we've got to do that to keep up with the development and all those other things and the pace of the market. So all right, so the point is here we have this. This is one of our bear market signals. Okay, so normally we go through the trade success checklist on the bullish signals. I'm going to scroll down here to about here where we have short bearish trades. Now, I'll just tell you up front that this is supposed to make a negative number, so that's the final tweak they're doing. So we'll ignore the trade success score. And so we have a bearish ERI. I have to have them move that higher, actually. So we don't have a bearish ERI on this. So we're looking at our TSI has gone red. So there we go. We have a bearish signal on this trade. You can use these to short if you are swing shorting or trading futures. And the goal of this is if we have a 2 or 3 score, it's worth getting in the trade, right? So it just takes the emotion out of this. And so let's go back over to that. All right, so we had now the TSI. We don't have, I'm sorry, ERI. I'm glad we don't have an ERI on the bearish because then I'd be a little more nervous. So you guys know ERI, TSI, signal, and RSI usually in alignment means take that trade in that direction. So we don't have this, but the signal line has gone red. So we'll click on that. So we now have a score of -3. Let's see, I actually clicked that one. I shouldn't have done that. How are we looking on the radar? Radar's mixed, so we're fine there. And the Bollinger Band's not really an issue. We don't have sell limit orders, but we do have the RSI red. Okay, so with that, we have 1, 2, 3. That to me is more bearish than bullish. And so where I'm a little nervous here, now we'll go up. And with this buy block, that would be a positive score. So that would negate 2 of these, but we're still kind of leaning toward bearish. I'm not ready to buy this. Okay, that's the point. And I would exercise caution here because now I do believe we still are going to go higher. I believe a lot of this was to get the shorts to pile in, and they might even wick this thing down to the 21-day exponential moving average and then rally it higher. But there's a Pomp has a good article, and I think there's another video out there that talks about probably we're going to push much higher because keep in mind, I know I'm deviating from the news. There's been a lot of selling up in this range by holders of less than 100 Bitcoin that all freaked out when we didn't break 100K, okay? Because everyone's super nervous about the bear market. We know we have our marching orders when it's time to get out. It's not time to get out. In fact, wouldn't be a bad time to be buying more here. I de-risked yesterday just because I wasn't sure, but I would rather do that and buy back into some signs of strength. So we're holding that 92K level, which is interesting is you know, I guess I'm not trying to brag here, guys. I'm trying to demystify this, and once you get it, it sort of becomes a lot easier. You just have to see enough of these. Here, I posted this 20 hours ago on my Facebook. 92K incoming, likely then bounce. December 5th is the next low. All right, well, look, we came right down. This was 20 hours ago. We were somewhere in this range. We did come down to 92K, and we're sort of holding. So I do expect some kind of a bounce. The key questions here are, do we get a lower high, right? So I'm not sure yet. And, the time of the next low, just to jump ahead, we'll unpack this more in tomorrow's class, M3. Which chart is that? I've got it somewhere in here, and I've got it labeled for when the next incoming low is, and we believe that to be December 5th. So I've got a load of different chart, you guys, and maybe I'll pull that up. But you guys get the point. December 5th, next cycle low. But the other thing that's concerning to me, by the way, and why I do always I like to look at the exchange version of Bitcoin, and I have a few versions here. This is the index, okay, showing a little different data. We have the bearish. Where's the Coinbase version? So yeah, it's interesting how sometimes we can only pull data from the different exchanges. Coinbase being one of the bigger ones, there's a sell order block, money flow block on Coinbase, but not the other ones. So that's why to me this is a bit inconclusive. And so in this regard, we would also sort of put a red sell money flow on this. Maybe it's a thin one, right? It's a thin one. This is an art and a science for sure. And so let's see, make sure I have that in there. Okay, look at that. We didn't get the sell order blocks. I have to add that in there too. This thing has become a tricky, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it right. And so let me just get a screenshot of that so we have that in there. So anyway, I'll just leave that there and we'll kind of tighten that up a bit because this bright red indicates sell order pressure, money flow, just like these green blocks have on the bullish side. Now, on the positive side of this, it's getting me every time I'm trying to do something here and make it quick for you guys. It's some kind of tech challenge here. So let me just get a quick screenshot. And that doesn't want to open for me, so maybe not. Okay, so what I was suggesting is these buy money flow blocks. I don't think these will go below that. There we go. Quick screen capture for this. This is for all of our benefit. Bear with me so that we can learn from that. Add it to the trade success checklist. Somehow I missed that. And okay, we'll move on. Do you guys get this? All right, sorry about that. And moving right along, let's come back to that. So we'll be watching for this bounce, but I do see overhead resistance here. So I'm going to give this a few days. And because we do believe December 5th, which is all the way out here, will be kind of that next low, I'm going to give it some room. And I'm going to load a different layout here because I've got some more notes on this, by the way, and it'll make it a little bit clearer. But yeah, so as that loads and not say's running again, say's picking up. Let's see, Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? Right here. All right, so here's that chart. Better late than never. So I have this drawn as my base case, you guys. And so we're going to confirm that with our indicators. But so we did have the cycle top right around November 18th. It was a little bit late. So it was a day or two late. Started topping out. This is on a timing basis. And if you're in our market cycles secrets course, we've been nailing these inflection points. One had November 5th as a cycle low, happened to be the election. So, coincidence, we'll see. Certainly, we had a big push up. The cycle high, mid-cycle high here was a day or two late, but the next cycle low is here December 5th. So we could zigzag and even drop lower. We could go down as low as 86K, just timing wise, or zigzag around in here. But if we do go down to 86K, I'll be buying that like there's no tomorrow around December 5th. And because by then, I think we'll push up over 100K and then do a similar retest. And then we're really off to the races. That's what I believe. All right, so what could get us there? Let's see, 92.5 becomes pivotal. Retracements hinge on bulls protecting new local lows as Bitcoin traders stick to high leverage bets. Lots of leverage in the system. Do you guys remember a while back, it might have been an M3 class that I said, at 100K, we're going to have a lot of effery. I won't fill in the blanks, where right at that point, see, this is where the shorts were piling in leverage shorts and the longs, if we had gone above 100K, believe you me, everyone would have gone 100 to 1, not everybody, but a lot of high leverage longs. So what they're doing is probably people were longing that, and there were some liquidations on the long side. Then everyone flipped bearish. There's a lot of short interest and leverage shorts right now, I would imagine, right? And then what's probably going to happen is they'll they'll dip it down below here. Shorts will pile in, and then they're going to really run it higher because the shorts are perma bears. They think we're going back to 40K. And there was a couple prominent traders, $1 billion shorts on, thinking we'd go to 40K by the end of the year, and they got blown out. And it's the confirmation bias is a dangerous thing. And the more you brag and boast, like these both were just bragging about how we're the one guy, I'm the best trader in Japan. He had a $3 million short on Bitcoin. I wonder how that worked out. And then the other guy admitted, he said the bulls are too strong here. So any drop lower, I think, is a bear trap, and then they'll push it up, liquidate the bears, get everyone leveraged long, and then they're going to pull it back down. This how these markets work. I will not eliminate the possibility of this though, or this. Bitcoin has been known to do this. But at any rate, I want to stick to sort of base case, what it normally will do, and that's to punish the most amount of traders and wipe as much money off the table as possible. I am trying to monitor the chat here. My little control box keeps disappearing because Zoom likes to do that. So let me see. Let me open up the chat so I have it. No more chat. We'll get to the question later, Paul. Let's see. I do try to summon white versus red. Okay, we'll get to that. So anyway, moving right along, we have Bitcoin 92K price correction triggered by long-term hodlers, not ETFs. So yeah, ETFs are buying. I didn't finish my point there. We have had in this pullback here, it's predominantly has been holders of less 100 Bitcoin or less. And so it's retail freaking out and pulling back to these levels. ETFs have been absorbing 90% of that. The big buyers were ETFs and Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy rather. Okay. So this pullback would have been much deeper, okay, if Michael's strategy, right? That's what the shortcut name for him, and the MicroStrategy, of course, and ETFs hadn't been buying. So this is only a 10% pullback, because the reality is we are only mining. I say we're only, as a community or as a network, are only mining this much Bitcoin on a monthly basis. And this is the buying. It's massive. It's like a MicroStrategy and the ETFs. So the supply shock is coming, you guys. It's so it's just a matter of time. So, who knows how this plays out, but the ETFs and MicroStrategy are buying way more than the miners are able to produce. Me. Okay. You got that? So let's see. Yeah, let me just get rid of these little drawings there. So basically, that's the deal. And soon, so that kind of lends towards this. Once the sell pressure subsides and the buying pressure continues, MicroStrategy just bought another 5 billion in Bitcoin. So they're holding this level. They're really trying to hold that level. And all the FUD about getting MicroStrategy liquidated. Look, that's not going to happen. I don't think that's. He's borrowing zero interest debt and very low interest debt. And he's one of the most prescient thinkers of our time. So, either you believe that or not. But people comparing him to, well, I won't go into it. But some people there's a lot of FUD out there about, they could blow out, and then if that were to happen, that's the end of the crypto markets, and that's not going to happen. So anyway, I think Michael Saylor will be the richest man in the world. I posted about it a year ago, actually, did the math. What do you guys think? Anyway, how this applies to you. 92K price correction triggered by long-term hodlers and not the ETFs, as they said. That's a bit misleading because the whales are not selling. The 1,000 and up are not selling much. It's the minnows and the dolphins and whatever they call them. So let's see. Coin Telegraph, Exchange Traded Fund, use Bitcoin's price to longer term holders. County Earth, Balkunas, he's good. Let's do the TLDR. See a lot of CT baffled. What is CT? Crypto traders, I don't know what CT means, can buy 5 billion in Bitcoin. I guess that's what it is. But price doesn't move up. Same thing I hear about ETFs after big flows. So it's coming from inside the house. I don't. Look at that too. November 22nd was my birthday. Look how close we got. I think Coinbase shows we dipped up to 100K. I'll take it. I'll do a rounding rounding, not error, a round up on that. So here, long-term Bitcoin hodlers sold 128K, but US spot ETFs absorbed 90%. That's not true. Michael Saylor and they bought a lot of that. So this data might be from a couple days ago or last week. Let's see. Leveraging. This is a valid point. I mean, again, when there's that much leverage in the system, and as I was referring to, that co-founder of crypto.com warned the crypto market will need to deleverage before Bitcoin can breach 100K. And I bet you if we go and look at, in fact, let's do that. Normally, we'll look at this tomorrow in the M3 active trader class. And I want to look at the liquidations just to see, and got so many bookmarks here, liquidations here. Yeah, I bet you last 24 hours it's been over $500 million. And yeah, so 24-hour wrecked. Excuse me 1 second here. I gotta clear my throat. I'm not sure why that's happening. Where are my controls in this thing? Zoom is a royal pain in the ass sometimes. You gotta be honest with you. There it is. Okay, I muted. So 24-hour wrecked, 558 million last 24 hours. There you go. And on the long side, just as I was saying. So watch, the shorts will start piling in, and then they'll rally that thing, they'll bounce it and liquidate a whole bunch of shorts. That's how the game is played. So that's what he's saying. So we need to kind of deleverage. Now, often a deleveraging event is a major sell-off or a huge pump. And so I would imagine right now there's more shorts than longs. Just deleveraged some of the longs. And now it's at some point they'll bounce it to get more. But I don't know what happens here. That's why I'm a little bit indecision. Let's see. The correction hasn't triggered immediate deleveraging. So exactly right. The leverage ratio, cropped all crypto at 0.24, and that's not as high they'd normally want to see that. I think we're going in the weeds a bit. I think I always say, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. And so let's see how low can the Bitcoin price go? I'll just show you. And look at that. We sort of took out. This is on Binance. Let me be careful of my words. Okay. Bitstamp has buy limit orders here at 92K. So that's holding. And I'm going to check Coinbase. Coinbase does not have a buy block. Isn't that interesting? So these are the nuances, you guys. It's not an indicator, a fault of our indicators. It's we can only go by the data provided by the exchange. So that's why I'm going to say right now our signals are giving us forewarning here that it's going lower. And so the fact that that buy block has now disappeared on Coinbase, or sorry, Binance, tells me we'll probably come down to 90K, just under 90K, and retest that 21-day EMA. Maybe if we lose that, if it wicks down 86.2, maybe 86.250, maybe a little above that to be, let me make it bigger, is where I'd put my limit buy orders. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to get out the old-fashioned pen here and make a note to self. BTC limit order sort of 86. I'm going to say 86.5 and 86.250 as a buy limit order on those, because right in there is where that midpoint is, 86.200. Okay. And then I might put some, because I sold a lot of my Bitcoin yesterday. I just didn't feel like holding on the way down until I have a better bearing on this. And I don't, trust me, guys, I didn't move the market. Okay. 89, 89K would be another area. That would be the 21-day EMA. So I'll just say these are all areas of interest to put potential buy limit orders in, since 92K may or may not hold. I do like the tightening of the Bollinger Bands here. And that's a good segue into our version of Bollinger Bands. If you're a trader and have been using standard Bollinger Bands in crypto, you know they don't really work. They're miscoded, whereas the normal standard deviation on your Bollinger Band on TradeStation, or even TradingView default is as a 2 standard deviation. That's wrong. Well, it doesn't work. So I've changed it in our Bollinger Band Pro. Do you see how perfectly this happens when price hits the upper Bollinger Band and then retraces and reverts to the mean? Up here, touched the Bollinger Band, got up in this range, reverted down to the mean, which is around that 21-day EMA. Touched here, took a pause, and the biggest sell signal is when it closes above the upper Bollinger Band. We don't see that very often, or it closes below. You see this vertical green pastel line. If it closes the candle above or below, that's a very strong reversal signal. So here, the wicked down below that lower Bollinger Band, and that was the low. We saw that was it. So sideways, sideways, and it went all the way up here. And what my friend Steve Nielsen taught me is usually if it touches one extreme, it will work its way to the other extreme. So this was mostly sideways, but you can see it did push up, touch the upper Bollinger Band, and then reverted. Again, upper Bollinger Band reverted, upper Bollinger Band, sideways, sideways. You know, these are good take profit levels, and also buy zones if you learn how to read them. So anyway, that's enough of that. I do want to show our early reversal indicator, which has been great in showing when these end re-entries are in time to get back in the market, specifically on weekly time frames and when they align with the other indicators. So, of course, we were getting in right here with our early reversal indicator fired. Let's go to another example because there's some new people here and I want to erase. I'm going to reload the trade success checklist and reset to 0. So let's take another look at this. And so we're going to look at here. We've got, well, let's go back in time and let's do a bars pattern. It's a good way to learn these things. And so if you come up here, where is it? It's this little, that's a terrible icon, but let me do this, you guys. This will be worth it, trust me. So we'll go here and we'll go back in time and we'll see how we could have traded this, okay? So imagine we're back here. The date is November 24th. This is good review for all of you in M3, by the way. So we had broken up to new highs above 69K into a sell block, and of course it nailed it right to that midpoint. Lately, I've been taking profits at these midpoints and done very well. Look at how they retrace. Held at the 21-day EMA. And so what happens there? From there, we can go back here. So now we get a green arrow and we have all red on the radar. Let's hop over to our trade success checklist. And so we have our ERI. Boom, we've got that. I'll scroll down and then we've got all green on the radar. So the two and one bar there. So let's go back up. And so we'd be in the trade. I'd be in the trade by now. I'm going to buy 2 there. And then if we go forward 1, we have to make sure our other indicators are showing because then I'd be missing this. So now we have our TSI turning green and above 20. So that's also a positive. Boom. Okay, so now we have a 3 score, which is enough to take that trade. Okay, and then also we had the signal line go green. Now these are different algorithms, everyone. So it is worth noting that it's a stronger confluence. And now, of course, we're at 4 out of the total on the buy side. And we also had our RSI Pro go green, showing bullish divergence here. So this is what that circle means. And this low line means that it's bullish, either hidden bullish divergence or bullish divergence based on the RSI. So I'm going to go over here, and now we have a score of 5. One of the better ones. So I'm going to buy 3 more times here because that's a great lineup, okay? And now we have the key down here showing potentially a bell pattern coming where we would be buying more. So we'll go one. Now we'll go to the next, the next day's trading, which is November 7th. Okay, now we do have the bell signal. So I'm going to buy another one for that. And we also had what, guys? We had this green money flow box. This means actual buy orders coming in and sort of taking out this sell limit orders. The difference between these are the order block detector is when there are limit buy or sell orders there. It doesn't mean anyone's taking them out, but that light green box is a big buy, usually an institutional buy. That's probably like a MicroStrategy buy where that's a money flow, very strong. So because of that, I'm going to come down to this, check that off, and I'm going to buy another one. Okay, so now we're fully in this trade here, and I do advise sort of layering into these. So we'll go higher. So we'll just go day by day. I don't know that we have any more that we would want to add to this, although it was breaking above the 21 and 50-day EMA here. So this, not the rocket, but we have all the setups, you guys. And I don't mean to preach to you guys, But this was just a great, and I missed one. Bullish engulfing candle right there too. When you start seeing these things align, it's not that hard. Is the price above the 21 and 50-day EMA? Also true. Back in here, should have, we bought heavily back in here. A bit of reverse, retrospect, hindsight 2020, but now we've got a score of 8. Is the candle body above trend line support? Well, that too back in here. So we should have checked that one. So this is an excellent trade. Now, of course, we all know how it worked out, but we have a 9 score on this, and there may even be more that I'm not gonna, but let's not go into it deeper. Point of all this is, and I will show the ATR because that's also going to be in our favor. The dynamic average true range can be used as a stop loss, or this went green all the way back here, so that doesn't really count. And so there's time and place to use those. So let's just go through the trade now, and I'll turn off some of these. Actually, I'll just let these go, and we'll just kind of go as we would normally watch this and look for sell signals. Do we have one yet? We don't have one yet. Getting a little bit overbought here. And then we come in, we have another buy block. So this is still looking strong. No reason to sell. And we had a bit of a kind of a sell here with the money bag, but I'm going to let it ride. Probably should have taken some profits off the table. But now we have below us another bullish signal. We have this buy limit orders to support price. This is the ultimate trade right here, using our indicators. So now we have even more. I would buy more with this because we have this order box block below us. So we're like really layering into this trade on Bitcoin, and as it breaks higher. So what I'm looking for is any of these to go red, or get an ERI, and we're not seeing any of that. So let's just see how this plays out. Actually, I'm going to go bar by bar because I want to show you. So now we're starting to get sell signals, right? You see the TSI about to go below 80, and we have our signal line also red, and I missed the RSI went red a couple days ago. So we probably should have been selling a little bit here. So let me sell 3 of these. This will be worth it, I promise you guys, because it'll show us our success score and the profit on the end, the P&L. And there. So basically, we had 100% win rate, 140% in profits in cash. So basically, that was an amazing trade. I won't try to decipher all of this, but that's why, if you're not using these signals and using them correctly, or if you're being lazy, you're losing a lot of potential here. So that would have potentially got us out up at the top. And, so the more you come to these classes and really watch and learn these, the better you're going to do. Any questions on that? And I'll answer a question. There's Paul said, let's see, on the trend line indicator, which is the trend line indicator? Why do some of the candles show as white versus red? I'm not sure. Oh, you mean the trend indicator down here? It doesn't mean anything, Paul. If you're meaning these, it coincides with the red line, and that essentially means there's not a bullish trend. It doesn't mean go short. It just means there's no trend, according to Joe. So I would not be buying anything unless our other signals were firmly bullish. And that can happen. So we had here, hopefully you guys can see this, the ERI, the early reversal indicator, and then the TSI going green here. And then we still had a white candle, but the midline was starting to turn green on the trend indicator. See, these are all footprints that you want to pay attention to. And so certainly you'll want to pay attention to that, but that doesn't mean anything other than that. All right, so good question. Any other questions, you guys? Let's see. I'm just looking through here. Everybody here is an M3 or a private client group, I guess, except for maybe 1 or 2. All right, well, that's fine. And so this is really giving us an edge. And of course, just a quick commercial for the M3 Active Trader, the hat I'm wearing. And what we do on that class is dig a little deeper and give trading calls and go through some of this same information, but at a deeper level. You can learn more about that at moonstream.io/M3. And I will drop it into the chat here, there for you guys that would like to check that out. Highly recommend that, you guys. You'll make your money back in no time. We had one trade recently, Sui went from $2 to $4 ish, And those of you that took that trade did very well. There's been quite a few swing trading these, and you guys know, and I'm dropping new trading picks here, like INJ. INJ's looking good here, guys. Been talking about INJ lately, and that was our retire rich pick a year ago, so it's ready to run again. Bullish engulfing candle. See, the beauty of this checklist, right, is once you start to do this a few times using that, you'll start to do it in your head, right? And that's when it becomes second nature, and that's when you win. You'll just start counting ERI. Yeah, TSI above 20. Okay, yeah, I got signal. Okay, good, I'm in. No emotion. I will usually create a bullish or bearish decision and then try to invalidate it. That's also a good idea and say, but yeah, but then again, and when in doubt, stay out. But this is our market to shine, and I like this. I like this INJ looking here. Let me look at a weekly, and we'll see. Coming up possibly to a resistance area, but this is a bullish chart pattern, a little bit overbought. The other benefit of these signals is they work in all time frames, daily, weekly, hourly, 1 hour, 4 hour, if we want to jump over here. And this is a good way to validate your trades. Here's that dynamic average true range, which I usually use on the 1 hour, 4 hour, by the way. When the ATR switches, and by the way, you could put alerts on this. So I'll just go ahead and do alert on Phantom Coin on the dynamic ATR. I want to know every time that didn't trigger right on the actual signal. Let's see, let me go up here. So you can go up to ATR in the settings or under more and say add alert on the indicator itself. Okay, so that's what I wanted. So the rocket the red is was the sell exit zone. The rocket is when it goes to green. I'm going to say once per bar close. Actually, no, because that'll do it every time a bar flags. And but anyway, I want to have this as many times as possible. By ATR trailing, you can use it as a trailing stop, but I also like it as an entry. So if I can spell entry, and so there's two ways to use that. So I'll explain that in a minute. But look at this. On just that signal alone, you guys. And for from when it went to entry, let's say you didn't catch it right at that. Let's just be fair. After this bullish candle, it kind of went to entry right in here somewhere. Well, we had a 40% pump in Phantom Coin. You guys like that? If nothing else. Plus, we had all these buy blocks in here, the money flow. So that's why the 4 hour chart is great. Now, it also tells me, though, where might we want to take profits and at least sell half? Anybody? So the this red box is our order block detector here. And you can see there's lots of sell orders right in that range. And so I would suggest the midpoint or maybe a little lower. I would sell Phantom Coin at $1.20 and put a sell order then for at least half. And then we'll look at a daily chart. And I'll also check the Bollinger Band to kind of see. So it's still okay in the Bollinger Band. And but that's why these signals can be so valuable and help in the trading of all these coins. And so let's take a look at Bitcoin just to jump over there. And of course, tomorrow's class, we look at things like the total market cap, the pi cycle top, and go a little deeper with some other TA. But so here on Bitcoin, yeah, so again, we saw some order flow, sell order flow back around 97. I do have a note to myself, oops, to respect sell blocks. So if we pump up to 98K, where I think we'll have some more trouble on Bitcoin. And a little bit earlier around 96. These don't always align exactly, you guys. And that's why, I'll usually look at 4 hour daily and weekly charts. But but that's a clue. We don't have on the daily chart, we don't have any visible sell blocks. Okay, so above, but we do see it on the 4 hour chart. You guys also know I always talk about these vector candles. So typically the larger ones will retest the midpoint. So I'd say, yeah, which it did. So price pushed up right about to the midpoint, maybe not quite. I don't know. I think this is a bearish pattern. I think we do probably break lower. Kind of depends. The other pattern we'd be looking for here, by the way, which I haven't talked about a lot yet, is the 3 inside up. The 3 inside up pattern is potentially forming. Doesn't mean we are. We're retesting prior resistance. But the three inside up, let me jump over to it because it's on the checklist. And hopefully I'm not going too fast, you guys. I just want to keep it interesting and not bore everybody. The three inside up is there. So basically, the three inside up pattern is bullish reversal pattern, composed of a large downward candle, like we just saw there, and in a smaller up candle, right, which is number two, and then contained with the within the prior candle. See, 1, 2. What do we have here? We have 1, 2, 1, 2, contained in the prior candle. So I'm waiting tomorrow if we see a third candle like this, and that close. All it has to do is close above the second candle, but ideally above the first also. So but you can see how that can typically run. So if we see it close above, even up to this midpoint, ideally above it. So I'm going to put an alert here about 96K. That to me would be bullish. And that's good enough. Okay. So if we were to see that tomorrow, then you could come in and say, all right, I got a 3 inside up on Bitcoin, and then look for some other confluence is the key word. But again, we're breaking below 80 on the daily. And TSI, we have TSI, a signal line crossing red yesterday. This is bearish. RSI had pushed up to around pretty high levels, around 81. These are kind of extremes. And we had, let's just when in doubt, zoom out. But God, you have to love this RSI Pro indicator showing us bearish divergences. These often come in early. November 23, we had, if I zoom all the way out, I don't want to go too far back, but we had, yeah, I mean, coming in here, January 2021, that was a bit of an anomaly. 2021 was, um, we created this indicator this year, so maybe it's not, I don't know. I'm going to go with the more recent. So we saw bearish divergence all through here and through here. What happened to price? That's when we did see some pullback. We had pullback here and then going back here. So that's why we wait for confluence, in a raging bull market, in the middle points. I guess that's worth noting, you guys, because I'm trying to teach you all the nuances. If we're in a sideways kind of chop, kind of a range, or we've come, these are going to be less effective as if we're just breaking out into a new direction. So we want to be looking for our bearish top signals after we have a good run. And but you guys, you know that it did call this red arrow here. Remember this? This was our bear market emergency pattern. And you remember in M3, I'm like, guys, we shouldn't be seeing this here, but we are. And we caught a 22% drop, right? So on the weekly time frame, these sell signals really excel. Bearish engulfing candle, ERI here. We had TSI below 80. We had signal line red. That's it. It was a bit janky because they weren't perfectly aligned, but you guys, those of you who are new, just to go back in time, and those of you as review, this is the bear market red alert. Grab the oh shit handle in the back seat of the car, taking the turn too fast, right? ERI weekly bearish engulfing there, and look at this was the market top 2021. Nailed it. TSI red below 80, signal red. These all aligned at the same time. And that specifically is going to be our bear market get out. So we also saw it here and there, but really this was the main one. And on the bullish side, we saw a double bottom ERI, bullish TSI signal. So we caught that little bounce, but then it flipped, right? And then on the monthly time frame, we had the ERI telling us to get back in right at the bottom right there. So we nailed it on that. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but because we're not seeing any super bullish signals here, I think I'm leaning toward the bearish side, even though it seems to be holding. So that's my read on Bitcoin. Now, I think alts, if Bitcoin, we'll talk about Bitcoin dominance tomorrow, but alts could have a nice little rally if Bitcoin pulls in. Phantom coin up 8%. So we're starting to see that. And if we want to look at these, let's see, a little bit overbought on the TSI, but that's fine. It can stay up there for a while. Kind of inconclusive signals. This is where we want to go to the weekly. And there it is. So we have a take profit on the weekly on Phantom Coin, but we're not at the end of the week yet. Is it always right? It's not always right, but look back here. We had a bag of money right there. Perfect week to take profit on Phantom Coin. So it is signaling now we have some recent money flow last week. So I'd say a pump on Phantom Coin. I already have an alert up to about $1.30 to $1.65. I would take profits up in that range if we get a nice pump into the end of the week. Certainly about $1.92 in the sell order block. It's an art and a science, you guys, and it's not all or nothing. Having multiple sell orders at different levels is the name of the game. Perry asks, let me move the chat over here. Let's see. In your opinion, why did a few Dino coins? I don't know what that means. Like XLM. Well, XLM got sort of proposed to get an ETF, and what happened was Gensler said he would retire, and the SEC basically has been neutered because old man Gensler is not going to be attacking. And if you remember, they were going after and suing XRP and XLM Lumens and a number of others, calling them securities. Same thing with Polygon Matic is finally running because Gensler's foot is off their neck. And Cardano ran because Charles Hoskinson's going to be part of Trump's crypto team. So Cardano, is probably going to weasel its way in there. I don't mean to be hating on Cardano. I just think it's such a slow mover, and he's just sort of kind of I don't know, but I have said that I think Cardano will be a big player in the long run. In the tortoise and the hare race, they're the tortoise. Okay. So old coins for your cycle. Okay, thanks, Perry. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. But that's the reason. XLM Lumens suddenly, and I think they had some kind of a deal, but it was mostly, as I understand it, that the SEC will drop its lawsuit. I did hear some news on it, I thought, but look at all the buying. Similar, it isn't. That's crypto for you. If you had asked me a month ago, and someone did ask me what I thought about Stellar Lumens, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't move. All right, Cardano, XRP, those were the three biggest movers last week. So I don't know, you guys. I'm doing my best here, but I try to keep us in quality projects and that have bigger moves. However, XLM, this big move here, I can tell you right now, it's pushing the upper Bollinger Band, and yeah, so that's why it's sort of selling off here on the weekly. Is a sell block overhead. I wouldn't chase it here. Um, yeah, so it went right to the midpoint of the sell order block at 0.56 cents. Had you put your take profits there for half of your lumens, and you could have had some nice profit to buy back a little lower. The key is, you have to be ready to buy back lower. And, I mean, I'm not going to hate on lumens XLM. Let's see how far it has to go to the old top. Let me clean up this chart a little bit. That is the measure. What we want to look at is to the old top. What's the possible ROI? Okay, what am I doing here? This is on Coinbase. That's not going to go back far enough. So let's go to Bitfinex. Yeah. So, so is that right? Okay. Well, I mean, XLM shot right up to its old all-time high. I don't know if I like that or not. This is very frothy. It feels like we're in a end of a bull market if that's the case. But no, I think, let me just shut up for a second and say I still don't love it. I mean, it's in an upward parallel channel, but it probably pulls back to 22. Well, all right. I'm going to shut my mouth for a second. So if we get a pullback and then it does go to the top of the channel, it's still a 500x, potentially a 5x, if you can get it back down in this range on a pullback. And that's exactly when you would use our signals. See, because this thing's, it's probably going to roll back down. I don't know. The pump is in. This is a pattern I call the fireman's ladder, although it's, when it's vertical like that and starts to hook like the edge of the ladder on the windowsill, fireman's climbing up to rescue little Susie in the house window. Um, I don't know the rest of the analogy. It's just usually it pulls back down. So long-term XLM bag holders would be dumping, finally able to get out. Sure, that's what we're probably seeing here. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's a good observation, Perry. The old all-time high And because there's a bunch of people that bought the all-time high back in May of 2021, and they had to ride that all the way down. They've been holding, and it's like, Martha, I swear, honey, if it just gets back to where I bought it, I'm selling. And that's what we're seeing. So they're like, all right, Martha, look, good news. I got our money back. So we're seeing a pullback. Now, when it breaks up higher up here, those same people are going to be buying it at the top. Say, Martha, we're going to get rich. We're going to reinvest all that money. It's going to the moon. And it's gone. Have you guys seen that South Park when I don't watch a lot of it, but it's a great clip. Cartman goes into the bank, and the banker's like, "I admired you, young man, for putting your investing your money, and I'm just going to put it in." And so you're really great that you're doing it, and it's gone. You know, so the market moves, and he gets wiped out. I think he was doing forex or something. Um, not to laugh, but please, you guys, when these things get up in these topper areas, you know, get out, take profits. Don't get the FOMO will kill you. And I know we all want to think it's going to keep going up. God, it's so hard though. We're like, look, Michael Saylor's buying all this. It's going to go straight up to, but sure enough, 100K. We overthought it, and we're like, I don't know, maybe it's going to blast through. We'll get a big 10,000 point candle. Yeah, we may, but not yet, not now. Yeah, Perry, exactly. That's a great episode. And it's gone. So, here's another one I'll just tell you because I sent this to my sister and sure enough, it happened. If you ever log into your account and you're like, I can't believe how much money I'm making. This is great. You're just big smile, take a screenshot, you send it to your relatives. Like, hey, look at this. Look at my account. If you ever do that, um, immediately sell half of it. This is not financial advice, but every time I've been like, okay, yeah, it's going really well, next day, it's just like, boom. So, I've been really careful and just cutting, selling things I bought the day before even. As soon as I get a whiff of this thing's starting to weaken, I don't like it. So, yeah, David, exactly that. Or if you, even better, if you hear your relative or someone else start bragging about their crypto holdings and giving you advice on the coins to buy, get out, sell everything. Not everything, but I'd say it's been one of the most reliable indicators. You can always wait a day and buy back, but it's invariably when everyone's kind of having that euphoria where you want to have that little, like an Animal House, the devil on the shoulder saying, you should get out of here. Um, anyway, that being said, we do have most likely a parabolic pump coming, and that's when you would sort of maybe ignore that advice somewhat, but it's at a certain point where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe how much money I have. Just get out, just sell it all. Thank me later. Okay. Because this crash, the correction, there's got to be one, and it's going to take a lot of gains away. There's nothing worse than seeing like suddenly because it takes the stairs up and the elevator down, right? All right. What else you guys? So seeing some altcoins selling off here, and some are barely moving. But look, I don't mind this. I'm 50% in cash right now. I just last night I'm like I'm not liking this and started to see topping tails on these. I'm like, yeah, I don't see any reason to stay in this. We're overbought here. And other coins started to turn red on the TSI, our trend strength indicator. So good. Again, if you don't have these, go to cryptomastery.org/pro right now. Go get these, even for just a year, although the pro is much better. But you can see here on this chart of Caspa where we had everything on here. We had ERIs back in here. We had the rocket, which I haven't shown you. Let's go find a rocket or two, you guys. Love the rocket signal. That's when a coin's about to shoot up high in a short period of time where you get some nice gains, and then you look for your upper Bollinger Band sell targets. But when you get a buy order block, an ERI, a rocket above the 21-day EMA, mostly green radar, TSI green, signal green, Bell is green, RSI, recent bullish divergence, buy the snot out of that. And I don't need to disclaim it. As one to many, this is educational purposes, but on a risk reward basis, the odds are in your favor. The sales are full of wind at your back. Um, when you have that much confluence, I've never seen it go against me. Now, they don't always line up like that. That's when you see them, and there's a couple of coins in M3 Active Trader. Tomorrow's class, you guys know that I love the charts. They're setting up like this, and I'm gonna wait, and I'm layering in, but I'm gonna go heavy on one or two of them when they start to really align. Okay. There's an old saying, everyone's like diversify. Like maybe, but when you have a stable full of horses rather, and at the horse, your own race horses, you don't rotate them. You race your best horse, until it gets tired. Then you put in the second best horse till it gets tired, and then okay, remember that. So these tools, these 10 indicators, give you the edge that you need. I was on a call with a lady, a couple, the meme coin couple that we're going to be doing a meme coin product with, and they were, I think that's who it was. But anyway, somebody was saying, yeah, I got into trading and I'm learning RSIs and everything. And I'm like, let me tell you something. The RSI and the MACD and all of that, it doesn't work. When I really started trading crypto in 2018, I was losing and I was taking screenshots and making notes and the RSI this, and it just wasn't working. And that's because everyone's using that. And when everyone's using that, you don't have an edge. We have an edge. I was lucky enough to meet the creator of these. I had seen them 2 years before and wanted very much to partner with them. He's a mad scientist, genius, ex quant engineer, hedge fund trader, uh, who traded millions of dollars and saw millions of dollars evaporate in the 2008 financial crisis. And if you don't know Joe's backstory, he vowed to never let that happen again. And the firm lost lots of money, went out of business, and customers lost lots of money. And so he's been, fine tuning these signals ever since. A couple of these were accidental discoveries. The rocket I created just based on a pattern I've seen. And let's look at the crypto screener too. I always forget to show that. The ERI Pro, the early reversal pro, is an accidental discovery. That's the arrow. If any of you are more experienced traders and you're like, oh, the arrow's cute, but yeah, no, that's because if we showed you the actual oscillator, it'd make your eyes hurt. But I noticed a pattern that now I've realized is showing us institutional programmatic buying and selling, I believe. And because it has to do it within 3 time periods, and the velocity and momentum has to be enough that, but in looking back, it works. It hence the name, our early reversal indicator. When it lines up with the trend strength indicator, often I'm in, and a very high degree of probability of success. And that's why it's picking up on the whales, etc. So it lets us be one of those sucker fish. Somebody at one point put in the chat the name of the fish. Doesn't matter, but one of those fish on the side of the whale, on the side of the shark, that's along for the ride. That's what we want to be. So we do have an edge. You want to make sure you get these. You can go read some testimonials. We haven't asked for reviews for years. Actually, guys, I'm going to ask you a favor, all of you M3 traders. Would love to have a comment from you in the chat. Either send me a private message if you guys are liking the indicators, because I want to add these to the page. We are doing a disservice to people who don't have them by not pushing these harder, because everyone else now is using the market ciphers of the world, and I'm going to tell you, these are better. Market cipher is not that clear, unless you're crypto face, and that guy's a complete weirdo. Uh, and so, I mean, anyway, I don't mean that in a bad way. Um, Suckerfish, there was a suckerfish is actually one of those, because I used to own a pet supply store and was in the water gardening business. I think it's remoras. That's it, Perry. Because the suckerfish is the fish on the side of the tank that eats the algae, and if you put those in a koi pond, they'll get this big. Ask me how I know. I have had large koi ponds and large koi fish and large suckerfish. Remoras, that's what we want. We want to be, doesn't sound that cool though. We'll just call it a suckerfish. That sounds, yeah. All right. So Perry, yeah, so I don't know, right out of college, I fell into running a pet supply store, an upscale pet supply store. Terrible business, by the way, but I made it work. But that's also I have fell into trading. Half the day, nobody was coming in, and I was bored, so I taught myself how to read charts. And my father had helped me get a Fidelity account. And half the day, I was in there trading. And back when E-Trade was a green screen and a flashing cursor, it looked like DOS, being honest. And, I would sell, I'd make $1,000 flipping Netscape, and then a lady would come in and buy a $44 bag of dog food, of which I'd make $4 and have to carry it to her car. So pretty soon I aligned the dots and said, I don't think I want to do this forever. And so, um, and later opened a day trading account across the river, which was not a good idea. But in light of all of that, I got into koi ponds and water gardening, which I enjoyed. And the Japanese embassy here in DC used to call me when they had problems with their fish pond, which was 50,000 gallons and had 400 fish. And I was like, didn't you guys invent this hobby? So I was always surreal to me. But it also got me invited to the Playboy Mansion once to see their koi pond and lots of fish, no bunnies. Hey, I was there during the day, you guys. Bunnies were asleep. All right, back to business. So what do we have here? Matic rolling over. What am I going to be looking for, guys? I'm going to be looking for buy opportunities at prior support levels, but also when our signals turn. I'll look at my weekly just to see if it's still in a macro bullish pattern, but actually Matic rejecting here at this line. And I think I was sold some last night. I would probably buy it around 45 cents and also and down in this range. I'm really going to be waiting to buy in these buy blocks and when our signals turn green. Dr. T, yeah, I've been there a few times. It's okay. I did see Hef at a party once, and that was because back in the day you could rent it out, the Playboy Mansion, and there was a group called the Karma Foundation that would do that and charge tickets. And one time I was in LA. I'm sorry to bore you all these stories, guys, but I was in LA. I hit up a friend. I said, "What's going on this weekend?" And I'm gonna mix up two stories probably, but he said, get a costume, go to this address. It's so and so's house. And he owns Long Fence. If you've ever been in a city where they have fences around, that's Long Fence. So this guy, huge house in Beverly Hills, LA, or, not Beverly Hills, but in LA area. I show up with a doctor's coat on and a stethoscope. Halloween party, right? Six people there. I'm like, this party's kind of lame, actually. And then all of these women started pouring in the party, and then the party got kind of good. And I'm like, all right, maybe I'll stick around. And then they said, all right, guys, buses are leaving. I had no idea. And so we got on this giant bus. I said, where are we going? He says, Playboy Mansion. So this guy had like a double wide booth. He was loaded. And so, but it was okay. It was fun. But once was enough. Twice maybe. All right, you guys. Back to business. Pullbacks, 46 cents. That's where I'd be looking to buy. And on Matic, let me go back. I'll look. We'll get into this more tomorrow in the M3 Active Trader class. How are we doing on time? We're probably running a bit long on this. If you guys want me to pull up any coins, I'll look at them. So Polygon on the 1 hour, maybe a bit of a bounce at 50 cents, and that would align with the 4 hour or the 50 period EMA. Okay, so 50 cents on Polygon Matic, maybe a good price there. Just below where we are, I could see that, but probably I'd wait to 45 cents and wait for my signals to go green. So a lot of these coins pulling back, hindsight always 2020, and it gets all of us because clear as day, I should have sold near right up here. But what happens in this, remember this, you guys, they'll push it higher to make you believe that this thing's going to break. It's a runaway breakout and it's going to go up this high. I have sell orders. Look, I have sell orders at seven. Let's see. I think I did sell. Some did sell here, but I have it at $8 up in this region. But this was the right one. $7 was the sell, and I did have some sell at $7. I know that because of this. But they make it look. This was green at one point, looking like a breakout, never going to stop. This would have been the warning sign, and that's why I was selling out of coins last night. Okay, sure enough, it's pulling back down. Not all of it, because the danger is that you don't buy back at the right time and it does this, right? So that's why I sell half positions, a third of the position, etc. Dollar cost averaging. But market's pulling down a bit. Bearish divergence on Link. I still like Link. Now, as if is Mike here? Mike's a new student and a friend. He was selling Link at 19. He got it. You look at that. I was telling people $19 is a sell zone, I think, on the 4 hour. So I sold some at $19. I can prove it. I'd be buying back at $16. Catch the bounce. Because what usually happens on these retest old resistance, right? So simple little pattern and then this kind of thing, more than likely. And where would that put us time-wise? December 5th, somewhere, probably going to be I don't know. I don't. It's December 5th. I just think we probably bounce before then, but that's supposed to be the next mid-cycle low. Slight pullbacks on some of these other ones here. Looking pretty good. I mean, things like Ondo on the next push, maybe, I'll be buying more Ondo down in these areas, but I'll be waiting for our signals. I don't like that this is red heading down. I won't be buying on these TSI red. I don't like that. I'm going to wait. All these three red, I don't like. I'm not going to. That invalidates what I would normally do. And there, sure enough, ERI, well, on this chart, on a daily basis, so Ondo, very bearish, bearish engulfing candle, bearish ERI. Imagine you're doing your checklist now, and then TSI red. It's not below 20 yet, but it's heading there. Right now we have signal. All of these are red. Ondo, that'll push it lower. I think Ondo comes back to retest down here, 84. So, but I sold Ondo. See, it's blue. I got out. I saw that yesterday. I sold all my Ondo. And that's so if it's green, I own it. If it's blue, I don't own it. So, that's kind of where you start to really trust your instincts. These signals and indicators allow you to trust your instincts and even take emotion out of it when your instincts are wrong. And so, pullbacks across the board. Filecoin pumped up. I think I sold some up in the sell block. So look, buy low, sell high. Not that hard. Now that you have the tools, if you don't have them already, go get the tools, the pro tools. You need them. If you're just starting out and just learning the basic tools, you don't need them, but it'll definitely help you. Where would I buy here on ICP? Anyone? Bueller. All right. So we have a big buy block here. I've noticed the midpoint of these buy blocks, which in this case is also a big bullish engulfing, a vector candle, right around $10. Nice place to buy at some of this. I'm going to definitely do that. Buy ICP at 10. I made some good money on ICP on this pump, by the way. Broke out of here and totally faked me out, though. I was heavy in, I guess, and then it pulled back, and I bought more and copped that pump and sold in this sell zone. So my old trusty pen, ICP buy, I'm gonna say $10. I'll take that. Because downside limited, prior resistance flip is support, 21-day EMA coming up. Little nervous these are not, they're sort of heading green, but at least they don't have a big red on that. Yeah, comparatively, excuse me, ICP and Filecoin look relatively strong, but I don't want to try to catch a falling knife. But look at this, INJ up. INJ likely missed the move, though. It's pushed up right to its Fibonacci bearish hidden divergence. Let's see. So on the good news, it hit a nice Fibonacci price target. And guys, we were looking at ICP or Injective rather all the way back here in October. We recommended it here, you guys. It went up over almost 600%. Okay, so we're having a second shot at it. We were looking at INJ back in here. I think INJ is going to run the fib on this, right? If we drew to the low, it's pushed right up to the first fib, which is the 50%. Any pullback on INJ or even here, bullish engulfing, I'm gonna buy some more, but I'll buy any dips on INJ. There's a freebie. Normally, I'm not giving out our trade picks. That's I got it carried away. If you want more like that, though, sign up for our Retire Rich class and the M3 Trader. Helium we'll talk about tomorrow. Just kind of going through some coins here. But anything you guys want to look at? Mobile, wow, 28%. This starting to kind of feel interesting, but not there yet. And what do our signals say? A little bit of bullish divergence there. TSI 20. Hold on, hold my beer. So, as the young people say, all right. My God, I feel super old now. That I said that ERI check, bullish engulfing candle check, TSI above 20, signal line green. I don't know. Here we go. The signals take the emotion out of this. Mobile, only thing I don't like though is it's kind of rejecting on the 50-day EMA, but and it's a big but. The the all of those in alignment are that's I just buy it. Okay, so so that you know how I said I'll make a decision and then I'll try to invalidate it. Problem is there's some, there's definitely some resistance in here, but we're gonna want to watch this. And sometimes I'll just say, hey, look, I'll buy it when it clears this sell zone and just don't wake me up when this happens. I'll miss a little bit of it just to have more confidence, conviction. What are the five C's, Jordan Belfort? Certainty, conviction, confidence, clarity, and courage. Certainty, a big one. 26%. Keep an eye on that. Signals are aligning. Yeah, the four horsemen have aligned. So I'm going to move that up on the watch list. All right, I'm going to wrap up, you guys. Any questions at all? I still see people here. And again, many of you are in M3 and our other classes, so hopefully this is useful on how to use the indicators. And did I forget any? Let's look at the screener and go back to a Bitcoin chart. The screener gives you at a glance what things look like, and if they're both green, usually go. Undo's green, but I just negated that. I don't know. The screener's only based on RSI and stochastics. Okay. If they're in alignment, generally good. So it says Litecoin Ondo, though I sold because it's heading down. This is just to give you some trade ideas. Litecoin, um, I'm surprised that it's green. I'm going to talk to Joe about this because the screener is great when it's all green and markets are running higher, but this seems a little bit. I'm not gonna. That's a bit off in this case. So maybe I need more training on that. Joe just put that in there. That was a bonus anyway. Let's see. The rocket. We didn't talk about the rocket. How many of you guys do not have the Crypto Mastery Pro indicators? And let's see. Let's go ahead and look over at ETH. I didn't look at ETH yet, so let's see ETH here, and we'll clean up. I know it's a lot to look at, you guys. ETH showing a bearish engulfing candle and bearish RSI, but has strong buy support below. Yeah, I think the markets just need a breather. Where I get concerned is when we break the 21 and 50-day EMA, like here. We've got buy support just below us, so I'm not worried on that yet. But where's Solana here? Let me turn off some of these. Let's look for some rockets. And I'll turn off the ERI Pro and the order block detector. And what else do we have on that chart here? All right, so let's go find some rockets because rockets are fun to find. And you can set alerts on them. Let's make sure we do have them because if we don't, I'm going to add them on Solana. Rocket alert, I'm going to do once per bar close. I want to know every rocket on Solana because Solana itself is a rocket ship. And oh, you guys, now you're throwing all these in. DCA buying 1/3. Yeah, exactly. Perry. Let's see. Perry, Ave, Sol, Pepe, Solana. Okay. And then, yeah, Joe. So, all right, guys. Well, I want to show the rockets here. I assume you guys all have the Crypto Mastery indicators then. If you don't, this will change your mind. The rocket on the launch pad. Right here, two of them in a row. Right there. It's sitting on the 21-day EMA. The wick down below, it looks like a bottle rocket sitting on a bottle ready to light and shoot up into the sky. This is a pattern I've recognized. I don't know anyone else has ever talked about it, and certainly not named it the rocket. Can't see the charts. They're on. We can see them. Chaith, maybe if you're on Wi-Fi or mobile but yeah, the charts are on. I've got a second computer that I'm recording, so maybe your connection. So maybe you want to watch the replay. It's worth it. So the rocket here and what it means, just going over to the trade success checklist to see the rocket here. That is where, wait a minute. The rocket is definitely on there. Here, the dot, wait. Oh, I got fooled by the little button there. Rocket here. The rocket forming at support. A rocket is a green candle with a real body resting at support, a price wick below, and that closes at or near the top of the day. The support can be at 21 or 50 period EMA, trend line, or other support level that has held price action. This is called a rocket on the launch pad because it usually blasts higher from support. And here's an example of that here with this candle sitting on the 21-day EMA, wick below, close near the top. It's like lighting the fuse and seeing it shoot up in the sky. And yeah, so when we see these, they more often than not, especially when they close near the top of the candle like that, they shoot up like this. Here's another one that was a bit sort of janky because it was below the 21-day EMA, but it still fired here because it was at support, so minor support. And most importantly, because it had the wick down to the 50-day EMA and closed near the top. This shot up nicely, didn't it? Yeah. And especially when these align with our other signals like the TSI here and the ERI. So that was a beautiful one. We love a rocket on Solana because they love to run. And in many ways, this is a rocket too. The indicator was programmed to look for on the EMAs. It's hard to program if it's resting at a trend line support. We can see clearly. So you have to, learn how to eyeball these. It was sitting on strong support. This was a classic rocket, big fuse, lots of rocket fuel, shot up here, pulled back a little bit, and then really went up higher. I imagine that was confluence with our other signals, and it was. Once you get good at seeing this, you can't unsee it. This rocket here shouldn't have fired because the wick is too small. We, at some point need to optimize this here. Had a little pump. Just look for longer wicks and bigger candles. You want enough fuse to be able to run away before the thing blows up. And down here, another rocket. Same thing. This is a hammer candle slash rocket, but on this support line right there, this is a rocket shot up again. This is not because the top wick is not there. It didn't close near the top. So the rocket indicator is not 100% because it's kind of tricky to program that thing, but we sure like it when we find one. How do you guys like that? Anyone? Solana, back to 225. I was saying the other day, where to buy at 225, and then I capitulated and said, hey, I don't think we'll see Solana below 250 again, and I was wrong. But hey, that means you can buy Solana cheaper. If it comes down to like 200, that'd be even better. I'm bearish on Solana, in the near term. TSI red, signal red, bearish, RS the divergence there. So what, and the ERI. So what could you do? You could have sold some. Solana, man, I know it got away from me in 2021. I'm not letting that happen again. I'm riding this as 800 and I'll buy more on any pullbacks. So, with the exception of I don't like the fact that this is just turning down on that TSI. Let's look at a weekly and then I'll look at some other coins for you guys. So the danger here though, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So fortunately, we don't have an ERI, but in this week, we're midweek through, and this isn't Bitcoin, but this is kind of starting to look like our bear market signals on Solana, and I hate to say that. Bearish engulfing candle. Where did the arrow go? We had an ERI. Okay, so the ERI is flittering back and forth. Probably, hopefully, we push up a little higher. If we start seeing ERI and the bearish engulfing and we have the ER, but the week hasn't closed yet, so don't panic. By Sunday, we'll know more. And we do have this sort of nice money flow. I haven't seen any of these money flow boxes get taken out yet completely. The midpoint can retest, so an ideal place to buy. I'm giving away too much for free here, guys. This is our free class. You guys got to type. You got to join us tomorrow if you want all the details, all the juicy details. You got to join M3 and come join us, and I'll unpack that a little bit more. All right, you guys wanted to look at what here? Uh, yeah, we covered Ada Sand, etc. Abe. Do you know you can just click on the chart and then just start typing and it'll pull this in? I was always going up and clicking something. I just now discovered that after 3 years of doing it. Okay, Ave, nice uptrend, weekly overbought on the TSI. Nice upward trending parallel channel. Bullish on the daily, but I think Ave is probably just a good buy and hold as long as it's in this trend channel. But it's kind of a slow mover. It's slow and steady weeks wins the race. It doesn't really excite me that much. Seeing a bunch of rockets in there, so let's look at some rockets. That's cool. Look at that. Rocket here, shooting up. This isn't a rocket because the tail's not deep enough. This one is, but it's sort of janky overlapping. I like to see it sitting right on the moving average. But anyway, that one didn't work out. So the rocket works, you know, when it works, it's great. I mean, I'd still take those trades. Here's a nice rocket there, shot up. A little rocket here, kind of went sideways. This big rocket had lots of rocket fuel. The other nuance on the rocket is the larger the candle. Look at this one. I'm surprised this didn't go higher, but it did get above the upper trend line resistance. Lots of rocket fuel. Light the fuse. Usually, the bigger the candle, the more higher it goes. Some nuances to that. All right, let's see. Sol, we just talked about, and Pepe. And yeah, okay. So we'll do Pepe and then we'll wrap up. So Pepe coin, what's going on here on Coinbase? That just listed, I guess. Wait, that's not true. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's go over to. Did Pepe just list on Coinbase? That can't be right. That may be a data glitch. I was sure it was on there long. Yeah, it's been on there for longer. Let's go to Bitfinex. So, oh, maybe I hadn't dragged it over to the left, but Pepe should hold there. I mean, the downside isn't too bad. Oh, okay. So here's what's going on with Pepe. It's retesting the old high. So this would be I would buy some here. I would dollar cost average into some Pepe. You know, this is one of those times I'll sort of overrule. Like it's dropping on this. This means it'll probably wick down again. Maybe it comes down here, but I'd be surprised if this big buy block got taken out. That's a tricky one, but you could buy some more here and then some more here and then dollar cost average. Probably it'll hold the 50-day EMA. And if we're gonna look at meme coins, we might as well look at Bread Token. Uh-oh, Bread Token pulling back. Still in an upward trending trajectory though. I do like it. But here, this is a no for me. This is breakup time. It's not me, it's you. This going below 80. I'm not a buy. I don't buy that. I'm out. I'll wait. When in doubt, stay out. Bearish engulfing. Everything else be damned. I mean, that's what these indicators give you is conviction and say, nope, not good. No, you'll have to do better to get my money. Okay. All right, you guys, that's all. I think there's one more. Let's see. Perry saying sometimes the chart changes, triggering rockets slightly if it's based on USDT or USD. Um, okay, that's possible. We're just pulling off the data we're giving. But speaking of rockets, look at this beautiful little rocket on Brettcoin back on November 9th. Boy, I wish I'd been watching that. We had an ERI here. We had a bullish engulfing pattern here. Let's see what else we had. We had a TSI go green. We had all the makings of a great trade, and I missed it. We missed it. That's why I try to set alerts on these things. But this is the opposite of all the things aligning. Not looking good here. Lower highs. I think Brett Token's taking a breather. But look at that nice little rocket there. Big buy order block. And Rocket is in this case sitting on the 21 and 50-day EMA, so an even stronger launch pad. Little wick, light that sucker. Look at that, beautiful, shh, all the way up in the sky. Out of rocket fuel, it's gonna fall down to the earth now. So there you go. Perry's saying the big buy block on Pepe now completed. Is it too old? Usually, yeah. I mean, with the light green buy order blocks, where did Pepe go? I had it on my list. All right, backtrack. This is the last one we'll do. So, well, no, it's not too late. What this means is a big amount of money came in and bought this. And I have observed typically it'll hold the midpoint of the vector candle. And in this case, also the buy block, because these buyers will look to protect the price here. This is sort of the point of control. If I were to go over to a volume-based footprint chart, which we're not teaching here, we're going to start dabbling into that in M3. But the point of control is kind of where the most amount of volume transacted. Generally, it's this midpoint of the candle, and often it's retested. So on Pepe, um, the problem is it's all red. I'd wait a day, see if this can start turning back to green. But I would buy some Pepe here if I were a Pepe liker. It's kind of looks like a bull flag forming. And when it breaks out of the bull flag, the measured move on that potentially, I'm not saying it is, could be the flagpole. Let's say that's, I'm just gonna, for just eyeball it. For the flag would be here. Oops, kind of maneuver that a little bit. So some people draw the breakout of flag from the top of the channel, from the bottom. I'd like the bottom just to be safe. So that could put Pepe up here, a nice little gain, from there or there. Sometimes people draw it that way. I like to do it a little conservatively because I've seen this play out all the way a lot as well. But hey, I mean, that would be potential 2x on Pepe from the bottom of the channel. But this is all speculation at this point. I don't know. It could be a bull flag, might not be. And it might be deeper. But all red on the radar, don't like it. So it's an area of interest. Okay, guys, have a great Thanksgiving. If you're not in M3, go sign up, and you can do monthly. And if you're not happy, then you can cancel. Very few people cancel in M3. I don't. Sometimes only for like monetary reasons have I had that. That I'm aware of, although I don't necessarily handle that. But for the most part, it's well worth the value. I mean, they're daily. Just a little commercial. By the way, all of you guys in M3, there's some non-M3 people here. Maybe just mention in the chat how you like the class. But I'm in there daily. A lot of great commentary by you guys, other traders, and cow. I don't want to butcher your name, and Coutly. Haven't heard from you in a while. I'm glad to have you back. 221, 5x long, 226. Okay, good. Nice trade. And no stop loss. Be careful doing no stop losses with leverage. Kautli. Hopefully I got you right. But yeah, lots of good commentary. This was my red alert for Bitcoin, sort of warning there. And lots of good chatter here. Every day we're in here. Not too much, hopefully. I do give trade recommendations. I even show my limit buy prices. I have limit buys on Solana. Where's Solana now? Maybe I got filled on some of these. Where's Sol? But where I put my buy limit orders, and Sol down at 223. So yeah, I got filled on my 220, all three of these orders filled. I bought a little bit of sol on the way down. Happy to do it. Sometimes it'll hit overnight and bounce, and I wake up in profit. That's happened a few times. So, with that in mind, join M3. Come join us. We'd love to have you. And cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow in M3. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention Thursday there's no Retire Rich class because it's Thanksgiving. Mike is traveling tomorrow. I'm going to invite everyone from Retire Rich to M3 class tomorrow, and then we will go into what I would normally cover in Retire Rich, which is slightly different, but pretty close. And all of you are in M3, you can stick around to see me do that, and it's kind of like a Thanksgiving Day gift. And yeah, Mike won't be joining us unfortunately. And then the following week, Mike will be doing Retire Rich class because I'll be in Miami for something. So anyway, yeah, Alex, thank you. This is the time. Yeah, now's the time. It's $300 a month. It's like 2,000 a year. There's a cheaper option if you don't want the indicators. Although, if I were you, I would join M3. Go read this page of all the things you get, and all the comments, and all the cheat sheets and resources, and pictures of me looking funny in glasses, and hanging out with Jay Powell, all of that, and you can buy this version without the regular indicators because we have a deal with Joe. The basic version of the indicators I showed you, you don't want those. You want the Pro. So I would go get this for $249 a month, and then go buy the Pro indicators for $500 a year or $1,500 lifetime, which is going away. You invest $2,000 in your future. That's one bad trade. They're going to make that money back in a week if you use them right. Especially now. Hey, look, it doesn't really affect me that much. I split this with Joe. It's for you. And moreover, so I have a freezer full of steaks. Either way, I'm not going to starve. Sometimes I don't like that analogy. It's kind of strange, but it's not for us so much. It's for you guys, and those of you who have it and are positioned to use these Pro indicators and the calls I'm doing in M3. I'm not going to do this forever, you guys. Hopefully, we're going to kick ass in this bull run, and now's the time. So, anyway. Alex saying even if the monthly option's enough for the bull moves, yeah, the new options on crypto is going to be exciting, guys. I predict we're going to do something with Joe on crypto options, and we're going to figure some stuff out. And you guys know in M3, you're usually our beta testers, and I'd love to just bank a couple millionaires out of this group and just say, see, I told you, those of you that have stuck through the bear market all this time, we're going to make it up to you. We're going to make it worthwhile. Not that we haven't already in this bull run. So let's see some other comments here. That's an interesting comment. I'll have to check with Juan on that. There is a scenario that we see a big blow off, kind of parabolic push into January, and that's it. It flames out. I do think that I've been saying this for a while that my spidey sense says we kind of go into recession in Q2 and markets could have a bear market, mini bear market into the summer. And then I think they'll fix it. Recession fears go, and maybe they start QE printing. The strategic reserve will start materializing. It won't happen all at once. Maybe it's gonna recession fears just gets balanced out. But I think Q3, Q4. This is just all speculation, but I think we see that second bull run like we saw in 2023, and then we pump to 200K or higher end of next year. But I think there's gonna be a big hiccup and correction. And when it starts, I don't know. So Juan saying global liquidity drying up. Certainly possible. Not what my study shows, but this time might be different. We'll have to see. And let's see if any of Bass Sense. David, I'm not familiar with those. But yeah, I don't know. Send me something. I'm open to that. I think it'll be interesting to see what he does with increasing, revenue from the tariffs. And, I don't know that he's talking about getting rid of the IRS and just having tariffs. I don't think that's necessarily reasonable, but somewhere in the middle might actually really make a difference. And you know, and I think we are just burning way more money than we should, supporting all these other countries and wars and NATO and stuff like that. So you know, I think it'll take some time for him to turn around the ship. Battleship, you know, the cruise liner doesn't turn around on a dime, but once you turn it around and it starts turning, then it's hard to derail that thing. Cool. Yeah, pro indicators here. Love them. Thank you, Paul. And you know, there's just continuing to discover nuances with those and loving them more and more every time we use them. So let's see, crypto options, croptions. Okay, all right, that's enough, guys. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for the questions, and we'll see you guys in M3 tomorrow. Cheers.